Today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee right here, locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about some serious things around Bitcoin. Like, you have seen it on the thumbnail. Bitcoin could do over 600% this bull run from here, not in total, but from here. And also we are going to look at the Japanese market, a little bit more focused on Asia. We're going to look at NFTs today, not only Ecomi and Veve, but also NFT market in general, a little bit at least. And we're going to discuss obviously the latest Veve news, so make sure to stay tuned all the way. So, good morning to every one of you. How are you doing? I see there are about 10 people here. The chat is already in action on this morning. G-Money is here bringing us the coffee. So let's have a big fat sip of coffee together. Pretty good. Also only 3 subs left to fill the 4,200. But it is what it is. Trucking Hank is here. Good morning, my man. Patrick Bultman also good morning. Orange Army today in Munich. That is cool. I didn't know about this, that this is today in Munich, but definitely a cool and interesting thing. Probably I will be though the entire day at work and I will not be able to see it. Let's see. Good. So, guys, make sure to smash the like button. Smash the like button as hard as you can. Give a slap on this like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and with notifications on as always. And thank you, especially my rare hodlers, and most of them are in the chat, for always supporting me here on the stream endeavor, on this journey. We're doing as many streams as possible. And I hope it pays off in the end. Wes is also here. What's up? How are you doing, Wes? I see you're already quite famous in around the live streams. Okay, so let's start with let's maybe start with this here. Let's maybe start with just the news side. So this is CNBC. Sometimes in the morning I look at CNBC just to see what's going on. Markets green, fine. So what caught my eye was this headline here. So China's young people are revenge saving even as Gen Zers around the world are piling up debt. There is a truth to that. So a lot of people are actually just maintaining their lifestyle by piling up more debt. On the other hand, revenge saving, if it's really like fiat coins, then saving might end up also not like the best decision of them all in that sense. But there is Bitcoin as a vehicle, and maybe now Chinese people will also be able to get to that. And then there was another one. Oh yeah, because yesterday I made a video about VeChain. So here's another one from China. Chinese EV, so electric vehicle companies Zeekr and NIO report record deliveries in June. So the EVs are selling. And yesterday I made a video about VeChain, about them partnering up with a EV app, attacking, so to say, going to Tesla users. So very interesting. Patrick says, that's unfortunate. The most beautiful color of Euro 2024. I mean, this is the only team with a Bitcoin color, right? On the other hand, I'm not. Should I say it? You know, like German trash collectors, they have the same color. Anyways, that's the Netherlands. But welcome to Oranje in our beautiful city of Munich, and they will have a lot of fun. Green Lantern is also here. Good morning. Good morning to Heidelberg. Also very beautiful city, by the way. So let's get in with the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is continuing the pumps. Actually, not really pump, right? I mean, the last 2 days were literally just very slow, but closed in the green. Today we're also green. Since we hit our support here, we are already up almost 5%, but so slow that no one is really excited about it. Or if we take the wick, we are 7.5% up. No one in the crypto space will get up for this, right? But as we said before, this is a valid falling channel, and the logical consequence here would be to the upside or a decision, right? So as at the moment we seem to follow this trajectory. We will observe it closely. There's not much to say to it. There's not much that changes. The stochastic RSI is already high up in momentum. That is interesting. But positive momentum here for Bitcoin. We are expecting Bitcoin to rise slowly but surely at the moment. This doesn't mean that we cannot turn around, come back, lose the support and go lower. Just keep that in mind from the latest videos, from the last videos, that we can have still a bearish scenario. There is no one indicator that says we're going up. But as you will see along the stream, we are having another potential that is way more reliant. Another analysis that is way more reliant, and that says that we are going up massively. Now, let's look a little bit at Japan. So Japan is in an difficult spot, right? So Japan downgrades Q1 GDP. Now you could say, what's my interest for Japan? Well, Japan is the fourth largest economy. It has just been flipped by Germany from the third place. Now Q1 GDP, construction data and so on corrected to the downside. I'm not going to go too much into the details, but it is severe, and that should not be here, but we will look at this in a second. And then also the yen has a 12-year crash against the dollar, basically meaning that Japanese currency lost 50% of value against the dollar that lost a lot of value against Bitcoin, right? So you see how severe this is. So technically, probably Bitcoin should be already at an all-time high or so against this currency. It did. So also the currency not looking too good. And then if you look at the government or the Japanese debt against their gross domestic product, against their GDP, they are look up. So it's in general, it's super important to know, in my opinion, or it's interesting to know, I would say, the GDP to debt ratio in percent. So look that up for all the countries in the world, and you will see that there is not much. I think there is something like Zimbabwe or one of these countries on number one with a 350% GDP to debt ratio. And then it's also already Japan with 250%. What does that mean? Basically, Japan has to work. The entire population and economy has to produce 2.5 years of GDP just to pay back the debt. In comparison, the US, for example, is at 112 or 117%. And then again, comparison, Germany, for example, is only at I think 97% or 95% or even 90%, something like that. And then there are countries that from the outside are not looking that good, but for example, Brazil only has 75% or so. So that just as a comparison. So interestingly, this is going down, and then I have a video here about inflation later, but now I have to. Unfortunately, I had this out of order. But in the middle of all this crisis, Sony is launching a Bitcoin and crypto exchange in Japan after buying the Amber platform. Amber will be renamed into S-Blocks. So with all that, we saw that with all the crypto regulation that is probably coming in favor of crypto in Japan, people are seeking more and more a way out because the currency depreciates, the GDP doesn't look really good, the GDP to debt ratio doesn't look that good, and so on. So this is an incentive for everyone that has a little bit of an eye on the economy to go into Bitcoin, and Sony is getting ready to provide that in Japan. So I think this is an interesting development in Japan, and we should keep a closer eye on it. We are not here to predict the downfall of Japan because, as I said many times before, predicting black swans is, first of all, impossible. And secondly, we never know, even if it was certain, we don't know when it will hit. It could take another 4 years, and then you're in another cycle, right? Then you're in another bear market already. So not that. But for Japan, this is an interesting development. There could be a lot of Japanese people coming into crypto now that have not been in crypto yet. Okay, and then maybe we listen together quickly. This is only 50 seconds to Christine Lagarde. This is interesting.
Given the magnitude of the shock to inflation, a soft landing is not guaranteed. Now, what do I mean by soft landing? I would define that as avoiding either a recession or a major deterioration of employment. If we look at historical rate cycles since 1970, we can see that when major central banks hiked interest rates while energy prices were high, the cost to the economy were usually quite steep. Only around 15%, of the successful soft landings in this period have been achieved following energy price shocks. But this cycle has so far not followed past patterns.
Okay, so there are in my opinion, two key parts. First of all, that she warns that there will be maybe no soft landing, and that in a sense of either a big problem in the labor market or severe hit to the economy, right? Or both, right? So, and what is interesting is that she says that past performance is that during higher energy prices, usually the hit to the economy is extremely high, which makes sense, right? Because one of the main drivers in the economy is energy price. If energy prices are low, companies can produce with this basically the force injection to the economy that you need other than capital. So oil, what is that? Oil, available electricity, and we're talking about the European Union here, right? So this is from the ECB forum, European Central Bank, and so on. So that just as a little bit of a reminder, and she only justifies, or she only puts a peace factor here out with saying this time is different, and we all know how this worked out already a couple of times, right? If people say this time is different, it's not really different. I mean, it forms different ways. It's like Bitcoin, right? But we know from this time is different from Bitcoin so many histories. Think about the super cycle narrative, for example, in Bitcoin, or I don't know. So really interesting to see how this time plays out, because energy prices are high, oil prices are high, and in the European Union also electricity prices are quite high, due to this rather difficult attempt to turn to green energy. And on the other hand, if we're already looking at unemployment numbers, I just wanted to quickly, this is a little bit out of Bitcoin, but I just want to quickly give us this glimpse into the future here. So this is apparently from an Amazon warehouse, and they're using a lot of robots. And I saw an interesting discussion about this, because the claim is here that these man robots that we see here, that they can replace 24 workers. And then a couple of people were like, but at that speed they can't. At that speed they can only replace one worker at the least. And I would disagree, because they are a little bit slower, but they don't take smoke breaks, they don't have to eat, they don't have to pee, they don't take holidays, they work 24-hour shifts, 7 days a week. So usually a normal worker goes from 8 to 10 hours at the maximum. So that's a shift of a third of a day. So if you work 3 times that, so 24 hours, you already replaced 3 workers, and then you didn't even catch all that thing like, oh, you can be ill and you can be on holidays and you can be just have a decrease in productivity or whatever, right? Because you're not feeling so well. So with these robotics, where I'm getting at is what we heard before, is if this impact is high unemployment already from the economy, just because of the circumstance of recession. And then on the other hand, you have AI and robotics turning this shift as well, turning the key there as well, so that actually many of these works are replaced by robots. Then I think we have a big challenge at our hands. And I think for everyone that's watching this, the best thing that you can do for not getting replaced is to be irreplaceable. And how do you do that? You have a skill that is not so easy to be replaced by a robot. So for example, it's very difficult, or AI, right? It's very difficult to be replaced by AI, for example, if you are a psychologist, because it's just at the moment it's not possible for AI to diagnose and to adapt to circumstance and to give empathic response, right? But back to Bitcoin, because there's also something we just I don't know if you remember, but a couple of days ago we were at fear level 30, and whenever that is that we have such a low fear value, that's usually when we experience a big bounce. So Pro Legendary, hey my man, asks, sup boys, are we lifting off? And here's your answer: probably, very likely, yes. So what can we find in this chart here that could make us believe that we go up? So whenever we have a low number of fear, we usually bounce after that, especially in a bull market. So the bull market only starts here, and here we had a 33 fear, here we had a 30, and now we were at 30 again in this dip. And you see all these 3 low levels led to a bigger bounce. Even the small fear and greed level here led to a bounce short term, right? So, and then on the other hand, we are also these fear bounces, they kind of went to or beyond this resistance line or this support line where we are right now as well. So it is, I would say, more likely than not, we're going to see a bounce out of this. I mean a real bounce, not only a couple of thousand, but a real bounce. And then you have, for example, here, this was in the middle. Technically, this was already after the bull market kind of ended prematurely due to the Fed stepping in very, very early in this last bull cycle with rates. We had this massive drawdown, and fear was at 13, and then we bounced back so hard that we overshot this previous high by a little bit. But as I said before, like inflation purified, this is not a higher high, and the only time that this did not really work out was here when we hit a fear level of 11. It took a while until we came back, right? So, but this whole period was very, very different, very differentiated. Anyways, I just want to show you that this reset of fear and greed is a real thing, and that we should pay attention to it. And we did, right? On the last streams, we looked constantly at the fear and greed index. When will it finally hit a low number? And then it hit 30. That was a couple of days ago, and now we are bouncing. Let's get to the why we're seeing the a target for Bitcoin here for how we could derive 600% for Bitcoin until the end of 2025. So what you're looking at, actually I cannot do that because then the numbers, it has to be like this. So what you're looking at is the power of law model for Bitcoin, and the power of law, it's difficult to manage this here. So the power of law is basically a function of different laws that Bitcoin abides, and on a logarithmic scale, and adds them together, right? So it is also the one that has not been readjusted many times to fit, right? Stock to flow, for example, as another model, had been readjusted many times. So what we see here also is like this upper band, so this upper band is being hit, or even in this case overshot a little bit in the last 3 bull markets, except our latest bull market. And again, we kind of believe up to date that the Fed has come in prematurely with rate hikes and with tightening, and kind of stopped this bull market before it really expanded into a blow-off top. And I think that is correct. So this is why we did not head to this upper band. But this doesn't mean that we can never hit this upper band again. On the other hand, you have the bottom line, right? And this bottom line coming up here, this is the only model where this bottom line basically is holding true, even with this bear market. So with bull and bear market support bands, this bear market trough that we just had went out of it, and people were asking themselves, hey, what's going on, right? But here it's in power of law, it's holding true. And then we have this middle line that basically says, hey, if you're above it, you are in a raging bull market. If you're below it, you're in a raging bear market, or you're not out of the bear market. So we see we're kind of below it. So now let's get to it. We're sitting at 62,000. And if we were to pump ballistic God candle upside and form our cycle top right now, it would sit at 324,000. So that is roughly a 5x from here. Now, this will not happen, but what can happen is that we at some point cross the green line, and the green line, the longer this takes, this is why I'm saying the longer this takes, the better it is, because the green line is when we are going to go into the parabolic mode, like we did it here, like we did it here, like we did here, and like we did it here, right? So in every bull market, once we cross this green line, that's when our crazy bull market starts. So you can see we're not here, and also this would be even, hey, maybe it's even time to buy more Bitcoin, right? Maybe we're even in a buy zone, like the rainbow chart also suggests. Okay, so taking that all into consideration, where are we here? So in the green box, you see, in the middle line, you see also the date that we are looking at. So with this, we would be looking at the end of July. But let's move to the end of 2024. That would be here. So at the end of 2024, our absolute bottom support would be at 35,000, which also means that technically this is how bad it could get if something unexpected happens and we have a flash crash. Somewhere there between 30 and 35,000 could be if we see something like in this sea crisis, in this pandemic thingy, where we crash down to this band, right? So this would be the absolute worst case. That only would happen if a major black swan hits. But what is the other case? If we would cross until the end of the year this green line, which I believe it will happen, that green line is somewhere between 83 and 98,000. So close to 100,000. It would be then absolutely logical to expect close to 100,000 for a year's end rally. So, and then throughout 2025, you would say, okay, we have, let's say our prediction is correct and we top out in September 2025. You see these numbers here. The mid band, where we would be above, is already at 126,000. And the upper band is sitting at, for mid 2025, at 462,000. So if we would get a blow off top, like 2017, for example, that would be more or closer to the 500,000, closer to 450,000, which is which is beyond a 6x, right? Beyond 600% from here. So this is why I said this could happen, right? And the absolute worst case bottom band already then there is at 45,000. Already then. And then you still have all that decreased time. So let's say you bottom out a year later, you probably see a bottom. Let's say you bottom out somewhere in 2026, your bottom is at 62K, meaning that right now at 61K or 60 something K is as good as timing the absolute bottom in that next year, right? So which also means, hey, as long as you're under this at these prices of 61, 62, 63,000 is probably still a buy on Bitcoin with a long-term horizon. So it also means that if we take this power of law as a given and we say we're probably above it in 2025 when we're topping out, then that means we should have at least a Bitcoin top of at least somewhere close to 200,000. So our conservative prediction on this channel is 135,000. However, looking at this here, I would say that's probably more something for the beginning of year 2025, and probably throughout 2025 we are going to rally more. So we are going to keep this up because I think it's interesting to see how it moves in this. We are not going to look at it every day, but yeah, let's take another look at a long-term hodl strategy, right? So let's say we enter now and we give ourselves 2 cycles. So it's not even the bottom here, but let's say we give ourselves 2 cycles, which would be 8 years on top, which would be 2032. So 2032, according to the power of law model, so mid 2032, the upper band is at $2.6 million, which would be the top for Bitcoin. The mid band, crossing the mid band would be close to $1 million, And the absolute worst case bear market trough bottom would be 350,000. So just to put that into perspective, if power of law holds true, which it did, then until now, then we would look at basically Bitcoin would not fall below 350k a coin. Which also means even if you have 0.1, you'd be sitting at $35,000 in a bear market at that time, right? So even 0.1 would be significant money at the top, like $267,000 at a blow of top in a cycle that is beyond 2030. And then going even more in that thing, like what the scale allows is like, okay, now you're looking at almost 2039, you're looking at 4 million mid band, almost 10 million top band, and 1.5 bear market support. That is crazy, right? And then you're looking, after seeing these numbers, you're going back and you're like 63k, not too shabby to get into Bitcoin, right? I mean, 0.1 is already 6,000 here, right? $6,000, not what everyone has quickly at hand to ape into Bitcoin, like of the normal retail user. But nonetheless, in the end, it's about multiples, and there is a way to still make it happen, right? I mean, altcoins are the way to drive the fast lane, and then drop this into Bitcoin, maybe the next bear market bottom, and try to get as many Bitcoins. In the end, it is the only thing that matters. Like how can you play this, right? This here, this pump now to the best of our abilities to then benefit from long term from the Bitcoin thing. So the strategy is, in my opinion, to get into altcoins before this Bitcoin dominance goes this way, right? So let me get the chat out of the way. So I think that's the strategy, and obviously to hedge it with a Bitcoin bet. And this is what I'm doing, right? So I have as you know, 50% of the portfolio Bitcoin, rest altcoins to try to outperform Bitcoin, which is when this collapses, to capitalize on massive altcoin season, and then take profits, move completely out of the altcoins, and move everything closer to a Bitcoin bottom back into Bitcoin. But that will play out over the course of probably 2 years. So we cannot be impatient here. Okay. So major altcoin season if we start to roll over, which is not the case. We are green on this month at the moment. So at the moment, Bitcoin is performing better than the collective altcoins altogether. Okay, now let's get to the NFTs. So this is interesting. NFT sales fell 44% as crypto dipped. Meme coins steal mind share in Q2. So several Politify animal themed meme coins continued to soar in the second quarter despite the broader market downfall which NFTs were a part of. And we clearly see how the cycle divides up into several topics that are short-lived. So we had an AI topic that will probably come back. We had a gaming topic that does really poorly at the moment, which will probably, very likely, will come back. And we have a meme coin shit roulette that is probably going to accompany us here and there through the bull run, but that in the major, like in the grand scheme of things, will be probably over at some point. Yeah. So I think that, yes. So for example, what you can, or what is riding now and will ride until probably into September. I think when there's US elections, is it in the beginning of October or something like that, is this whole thing with like Politify, like MAGA token and whatnot. However, there will be some meme coins that just will do probably well, like Dogecoin and Pepe and maybe Bonk and stuff like that will continue to do well, but not the major multiples. We don't know, right? So NFTs at the moment are not on this radar, and that is technically a buy signal, but we have to look at how it could come back and what it really means to ape into NFTs right now in the midst of against the trend. So Pro Legendary says, by the end of the crypto cycle, would you rotate your profits back into Bitcoin from altcoins, or are you going to cash everything out? I would not directly flip into Bitcoin. I mean, it's different. It's difficult to say what you mean by at the end of the crypto cycle. So I would probably want to cash out of altcoins and then wait, because the moment that you exit out of altcoins, or want to exit the altcoins, is not when Bitcoin is hitting bear market territory. I want to sit in cash or in stables for a time until I can rotate into Bitcoin. So I want to move out fairly early out of altcoins. So I'm not going to wait until altcoins take the downturn. At least I hope I don't, because no one knows, right? But I'd rather miss a part of the top move, like the blow off top, than come back down and miss the point of exiting in big profits, right? And I will take as a major basis, Bitcoin dominance as a major basis for that. Do you think USDT is a safe stable coin? Right now, yes. But I can already promise you now that the moment that we are headed into a clear bear market, where everyone is selling off and everything collapses again, like 70 or 80 or 85%, the discussion will come back if US Tether is actually safe, if it will crash, and so on. So yeah, maybe I'm going to move it into euros or whatnot, because the 6 months or 8 months or 10 months that it will take from that point to Bitcoin bottoming out, I can take the hit of 4% inflation or so on that, right? And then if Bitcoin corrects 70 or 80%, and during that time my cash depreciates in purchasing power like 3, 4, 5, maybe 8%, it's still worth the wait, right? So, and also you suffer inflation in USDT anyways, but the less risky choice is to go into cash. Yeah. SoCal Nacho says Omi shitcoin. Yeah, we'll take a look at this shitcoin in a second. So let's just see here. So here you see here the NFT monthly trading volume since June 2017, right? So there was nothing until 2021, and that is, by the way, until 2021. Bitcoin had already topped. Altcoins were going crazy and making internet millionaires, and then the NFT volume went up, right? So there was a little bit of NFT volume, but probably is Solana NFTs and stuff like that. I don't know if it's only Ethereum here or also Solana. But is like volume has completely faded to pre-run territory. Now, if you see this, you don't want to tell me that this is not going to repeat. It will repeat. People will cycle back, but until then, everyone that doesn't understand the money flow from Bitcoin into large caps, mid caps, small caps, micro caps, NFTs, they will cry the entire way until it comes back. those people will be the entire way, they will be, NFTs are dead, I told you so, when Bitcoin is rising, right? And then Ethereum will pump, and the big caps like Solana and so on, it's like, big caps are pumping and NFTs aren't doing anything, right? So I can already tell you that, so we will be prepared for that. Hey LK, what's going on? Good to see you. Pro Legendary says, still waiting for miracle to happen for Omi. Maybe if NFT cycle comes true again. LK says, NFTs were a great asset for money laundering and rotation, but it's not as a good store of value. I would say that this is true for everything in crypto, except Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. But your definition is true for the rest. Like, Solana, not a good store of value. Avalanche, not a good store of value. Chainlink, even Chainlink, which is one of the best altcoins that I could find, right? There's almost no altcoin is better than Chainlink. In terms of utility and partnerships and approval and legislation, blah blah blah. Even that has not turned out yet as a good store of value, right? The only store of value is like Bitcoin. But this is not why we are here. Why we're looking at NFTs. We're not in NFTs to have them as a good store of value. There are only two functions. Either it makes you rich, like Wen Lambo, or you genuinely have fun with the NFTs and that's why you want to have them. Or there's some specific utility on that NFT why you want to hodl it, right? But overall, we want to ride this, cash out, and then buy again when it's down, right? So for me, that's the bet that I'm taking. I think that Veve has quality digital collectibles, NFTs, and I'm putting a certain educated bet on that they will come back in that cycle as well, right? So that's the take that I basically have on that. Yes, BTC ETH is the only way. Yeah, I totally agree. Like for long-term hodl, that's the only two things that you want to be and maybe stay in. And even I feel like I want to this cycle. If Ethereum hits a certain thing, I would just get rid of my Ethereum and also wait that with a cash position to roll it into Bitcoin afterwards. Pro Legendary says, I wonder if history will repeat itself where big whales spent big buck buying a monkey JPEG. I think this is like people were asking themselves after the 2017 cycle if altcoins will be a thing again. And there were many people that said it won't. So before the last bull run that we had, the same talks of maybe there is no altcoin season were going on as it is this time. So even the FUD repeats. So I would say because was only one NFT cycle, people are like, probably there is not another one, right? So they cannot imagine that people will go on the same endeavor again. But just wait until sentiment is different. Wait until rates are down. Wait until people can take cheap loans out again. Wait until sentiment is like, I bought this coin and now I'm close to a millionaire or whatever, right? This sentiment. Or you have to buy this coin and it will 10x overnight. And wait until you see 400% on the daily for whatever, like a stupid altcoin without real use case, right? And then it will be different because then people will be, I have 4 million from this stupid coin, so let me buy this Miles Morales that is only $15,000 on the Veve app, right? So that's probably going to happen. And then where scarcity is, liquidity is concentrating on scarcity, and that blows up. Motili, hey Motili, what's going on? Mewtwo, good to see you. When Lambo, I cannot tell you, but there's Lambo on Veve. LK says taxes and Rex won't be different. NFTs aren't the workaround they were. But they are flex. I would say it's not even about the workaround. I mean, I agree with you with the money laundering, especially on the fully Web3 thingies. But I'd say that especially NFTs with utility and NFTs that are good looking or that are branded or that are scarce, they're a good flex, and people like to flex, so they buy this, and because most of the people that bought a Bored Ape and still have a Bored Ape, they bought it to flex. Yeah, so you have hundreds of Ethereum, you take 4 or 5 ETH, buy a Bored Ape. That was a flex for them, right? I mean, for example, the people that put it into their profile pic, like the Neymars of this world, they bought it at peak to flex. They don't care. They make enough money, even if it's down, right? So next time you will have it's all about the attention. People want celebrities. They want to grab attention. That's why they buy these NFTs on a peak. That's at least my take on it. I mean, I give you that the point is right? But taxes and regulations will not be in place for the next run in terms of NFTs. You will be able to buy Solana NFTs as you were able to buy Ethereum NFTs in the last cycle. Have you heard about Sony planning to implement blockchain into their gaming? Yes, I have heard about it, and they are talking about this, or at least there are rumors about this since a longer time already. Yeah, I've heard about this. This is a good thing, because I think that gaming can spark in the long run the next NFT cycle. But we are far away from that. We are at least a year away from that. Let me just quickly refresh here when we're looking at our favorite meme coin, which is Ecomi. So Ecomi on the, I hate the short time frames, right? But Ecomi on the monthly, red and under support, right? That's all we need to know. That is the reality of it. If we go into low time frames, like the daily, then what do you see, right? You go into the daily, and what did I tell you? I want to wait this out because there could be something like the bearish retest on previous super strong support. Like, this is one of the biggest supports that we ever had, because it was support for 500 days. It was support for, so here it starts to be support, and here it ends to be support. Sorry, that was the wrong time frame. Here we go. I was like, why is this only 43 days? Obviously, because I'm in daily. I thought I was like in a weekly or so. So here we go. Here's it starts to be support here. Yeah, probably here. And it ends here. So it was 400 days support. We broke it, we bearishly retested it. It could be that we are coming down again, and then we will come back down to this level at 0004. So it just takes time. That looks like a rising wedge, bearish. This year? Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Let me see if I can chart that as you say. So probably like this. Yeah, something like this, right? Yeah, and so if you would chart it this way, it's broken. Yeah, you have to chart it. It's about, yeah, I mean, if you take the candle bodies here to the exact, you're breaking it basically right now. Not too funny, but yeah, good catch. I like it. Do you use ChatGPT or other AIs for making scripts or anything for your YouTube work or daily work? For the daily work, yes. Not for scripts, but for other things. For example, lead lists, or certain things that is like I consider AI like like you would hire a working student or so before, right? Guy, like you drop a small task like, hey, make a suggestion for this and that content, like, or how could you rephrase this, like deal with it, right? Only that it answers in a couple of seconds. So it's like an assistant that helps you brainstorm and be a little bit creative, right? And I know that there are applications where you can just drop in a part of a code where programmers or coders can verify, hey, where's the mistake? And it just shows you where the mistake is, right? Yeah. No news for the OMI staking reward. I think I think there was news. The OMI reward season will this time, or after this quarter, only give you the bronze tickets and MCP, and nothing else, right? At least that was my understanding from it. I just want to point out Claude AI. It's really impressive. What do you do with Claude AI? Let me know there. Okay, so what else did we miss here in chat? So yeah, that's basically it. So that is OMI. Now let's quickly look at Veve as well. So because for Veve we have kind of an announcement, and that is that here. I'll start this here. Okay, that was hopefully not too loud for you, but I have to mute this because of they always put some music in, and then I show like a 30-second clip, and the owner or the creator of that music that is in the Veve spot demonetizes or grabs the money of my entire ad revenue of 1 hour stream work, right? So that cannot happen. But yeah, so this is probably very likely, I don't know, probably already confirmed, the Hulk 181 on Veve. So yeah, LKS's ETH is also on a rising wedge for the 4-hour time frame. More pain today, target 3,200-ish. Interesting, right? So yeah, maybe wait that out if you are seeking to buy Ethereum. For me, it's like I'm up a little bit on Ethereum. I will just wait this long term. I'm not too much of a trader, but I know that a lot of people are trading. What is that? Dutchies on the movie morning. Did you see that thread on Twitter from Head? No, I did not. Should I see it? Is that Shield project? Let's put it in here. Head. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Head. Crack Digital Mind. This thread or the pinned one? Oh, that's the same. Okay. So what's that? VVV fam, stop laundering. Who's your handler? Who is Michael Paul? This guy seems to create corporations one after the another and abandons them shortly after. Ghost shell companies. I think we had that already a couple of years ago, right? That accusation. I mean, okay, I recognize there is this thread. I will look at it, but it's too much to understand right now on stream. What is that? Network profile for Michael Paul Limited, member of network. Okay, interesting. So it's for sure interesting to look at, but I cannot make an educated comment on this because otherwise I would have to research first all of these companies, shell companies, whatever, that are the accusations here and see what's actually going on. So yeah, but thanks for the hint to this. I will look into it and then we'll see. So anyways, guys, for today, that's it. Veve is coming out with Hulk 181. Make sure to drop a like on the stream. Smash the like as hard as you can. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on. And wherever you are on the world, have a great morning.